got Chief Investment Officer at Kingsview Partners, Scott Martin, joining us now with more insight. Scott, I mean, we've had wild weather this month. From a financial standpoint, how much do winter storms actually cost retailers and delivery companies during probably their busiest time of the year?
A fellow procrastinator too, Haley, so I understand your plight here and the seasonality as we have it. Look, you're talking about billions of dollars, Haley, that's usually put off or at least, say, distracted from the typical holiday shopping event because of the fact of weather, because of the fact that there's things that come up that do deter folks from going out and maybe buying that item. But the good news is these days, I mean, because of Fox Weather's such good forecasting modules, they have the ability, these retailers, these shippers, these providers do have the ability to basically dance around, I think, some of this weather and maybe get around it logistically. So at least when we do have these events like we had this past weekend, they do see the value of maybe shipping it later or shipping another time. That does show up in the retail numbers, which does come down to the final numbers for these seasonalities, these sellers, and therefore does get the products to the end of the line eventually in time for Christmas.
Well, that's good. It's all about that Christmas countdown, right? But let's talk about Amazon here for a second. They are consistently one of the largest for the U.S. holiday e-commerce sales. The company is based over in Seattle, where they're seeing record-breaking flooding and rain. So how can a company like Amazon make sure deliveries stay on track, not only if they're taking flights, but also we've got the mountain passes that could see some tricky travel with blizzard conditions possible through the next few days?
Yes. Well, the good news for Amazon is, as you know, they're nationwide, if not global. So therefore, they've got offices and they've got centers all over the country that are dealing with the logistical kind of nature of what's happening just around Seattle and obviously on the East Coast too, Haley. So Amazon has been through this. They have these issues probably week after week, depending on where you want to focus on the country as far as what the weather is doing and as far as being somewhat severe. So Amazon is able to get around these issues and probably have some logistical folks out there maybe stay home from work from home, or work in other offices that may be around the area that aren't impacted by the floods, or because of the strong workforce that they have there across the country, they can shift some of that work to other areas in the country that can handle the workload and therefore be at work doing the things that they need to do if Seattle stays impacted.
Right. Let's talk about numbers here for a second, though, because many companies, they have shipping deadlines. And when it comes to weather, do they typically take that into account when they create these deadlines?
Some do, and some don't. We all know some of those places that do not, and then you don't get the item and you're very upset, and then you don't order from them again. Some of them learn, some of them don't. But typically Amazon has it planned out, and they have the say, interruptions, and they have some of the confusion that can arise from the weather impacts, and sometimes they don't even arise, so therefore the item gets there early. I'm still waiting on a fugly Christmas sweater, for example, from a different company that has not been, say, attributed to the weather yet, but it probably has been because of this past weekend. But I will get it soon. I didn't get it when I thought I would, but most companies are able to, say, at least dance around the delivery days because they expect some weather impact. And if they can't do that, a lot of folks will end up, say, forgiving them, let's say, if it's a couple days late, just because of the impacts that the weather does have, if they aren't able to logistically rearrange the delivery.
So if we are talking deadlines, for fellow procrastinators like you and myself,
yes.
What is the hard deadline if you're going to be ordering online in order to get those packages for Christmas, whether you're shopping domestically or internationally?
Yes, it's probably, I would say, Thursday or Friday, believe it or not. I mean, I wouldn't risk it much more than that. Even though the weather does look like it's going to become a little bit more benign over the next, say, week and a half, I still think that given the fact that a lot of these shippers are probably going to catch up to what they've lost maybe this past weekend, there's going to be a lot of traffic out there. There's going to be a lot of consumers traveling out there, of course, on the roads and in the airfare space. So there's a lot of things that are going to be out there that are going to be, say, gumming up the space, if you will. So I would say within a handful of days, let's say by the end of the week, at least for myself, I'm telling myself to get everything in as far as ordered on by Friday. The end of the day Friday, I think everything's going to be where it needs to be, on which doorstep that is, say, by Christmas Day.
All right, so you're saying tonight. I have to do it tonight.
Yes,
otherwise
tonight. For your procrastinators, it's tonight or yesterday night if you can do that.
I know, right? Okay, Chief Investment Officer at Kingsview Partners, Scott Martin, thanks so much for the insight as we get closer to the end of the holiday season.
See ya.